So it all starts with this guy, Jacob Martin Zook, a teacher who was recruited by three Brethren Broomballs, Dr. A.B. Broomball, the first Dunker to hold a medical degree, H.B. Broomball, a Brethren publisher, and H.B.'s brother, J.B. Broomball, to start the Huntington Normal Select School in the Broomballs Pilgrim Building in April of 1876. Only 3 students, 2 of which were women, showed up on opening day, but Zook wasn't a quitter. By the fall semester, the school had 15 students from as far west as Colorado, and by the spring of '77, enrollment was up to 45. This increase in students prompted a move to the larger Bricknell building on Washington Street. In 1877, smallpox struck Huntington, and the school was forced to close. 3 students from Ohio knew that if they went home, they would not be able to return, so they fled into the mountains. There they survived the winter in an abandoned shed on Trough Creek and were aided by a young boy, Martin Grove Broomball. The school reopened in February of 1879, and by April of that same year, Founders Hall had been built. Zook caught pneumonia and died at only 30-some years old, and it was then that the trustees decided that it was time for the new college to have a president, Elder James Quinter, then H.B. Broomball, then the young boy from the woods, M.G. Broomball, I. Harvey Broomball, M.G. Broomball again after serving as governor of Pennsylvania, C.C. Ellis, Calvert N. Ellis, John N. Stauffer, Frederick Binder, Robert W. Neff, Thomas R. Keppel Jr., and James Troha. But hold on, I'm getting ahead of myself. First of all, Juniata sits on the land of the Onaga, the Oneida Nation, the people of the Standing Stone, and the Susquehannock Nation, each belonging to the Haudenosaunee Alliance, often called the Iroquois Confederacy, who were present at the time of colonization. Huntington was officially incorporated as a borough in 1796, though settlers had been arriving in the decades before. The Broomballs, who were influential in the founding of Juniata, were members of the Brethren Church, a Christian faith focused on pacifism and nonviolence. Many early Brethren were opposed to formal education, but not the Broomballs. Their efforts have created a nearly 150-year legacy. That's a whole lot of history for a few minutes, but here are some of the highlights. In 1896, Juniata celebrated its first Mountain Day. The tradition of an unannounced day off in the fall has continued ever since, minus a brief hiatus during World War II. Today, students are transported to Raystown Lake, though previous Juniata Mountain Days have taken place at the Forge, Greenwood Furnace, Spruce Creek, and Whipple Dam. Mountain Day has evolved over the years, but it is by far one of Juniata's favorite traditions. In 1910, the first Bailey Oratorical Contest was held. Initially for public speaking students, the contest opened up to the student body in the 90s. The Bailey Oratorical remains Juniata's oldest academic tradition. Intercollegiate sports came to campus around the turn of the century, and though the trustees held out, by 1920 football arrived on campus as well. 1946 was the first year for Storming of the Arch, where freshmen tried to make it through the Cloister Arch whilst guarded by the rugby teams. In 1956, Juniata went to the Tangerine Bowl. One of the players, Chuck Knox, went on to coach 3 NFL teams, the Los Angeles Rams, the Buffalo Bills, and the Seattle Seahawks. Knox Stadium is named in his honor. Carnegie Hall was the library until 1963. It currently holds the Juniata College Museum of Art. During much of the 20th century, Juniata, like many colleges, operated under the idea of in loco parentis, or in place of the parent. The dining hall held sit-down dinners each night in which men wore ties and women had curfews. Students have loved to sing 5 Golden Rings for many years here at Juniata. Madrigal first started in 1970. Though not an official college event, from 1971 to 1986, Juniata students built rafts at the end of the spring semester to race down the Juniata River as part of Raft Regatta. In 1974, the Peace and Conflict Studies program launched. It is one of the oldest such programs in the country. In 1981, women's volleyball won their conference championship, and they've gone on to win that title every year since, 41 years in a row. Our fall activity fair, known as Lobster Fest, started in 1988. In 1994, Juniata's trustees changed the mascot from the Indians to the Eagles. Over the years, campus buildings have changed too. Both Ellis Hall and Founders Hall have undergone recent updates. A lot has changed over the years, but at the end of the day, this is Juniata.